Hello guys and welcome to another Arenas gameplay. Today I am going to go ahead and play Aurora. One thing that I have to tell you is before the match started I actually got disconnected, so I will be a little bit behind. As you can see, he's already level 2 going for level 3. Right now I know that he has the waterfall, so we have to keep moving to avoid it. The waterfall has a 2-second delay, so you just move around whenever you're fighting Constantine and you're gonna be able to avoid it. So right now, the game is already buying the items for me, so I will leave it for a bit. I don't mind what they're building. I'll try to steal their potion, just as always. Try to have a good control over the potions. Now keep in mind that Constantine waterfall skill has a 12-second cooldown, and as he levels that up, it doesn't actually go down. So every time that he uses, you kind of have to figure out what is the cooldown left on the skill. And one thing is that you have to keep in mind as well is that you have to check if he's building cooldown reduction, because if he's building cooldown reduction, he's gonna be able to chill that tower. Damn. If he's building cooldown reduction, he's gonna be able to use it a little bit more often. Well, things I have to tell you about Aurora. Well, her passive, every time that you get hit by a normal attack, you actually debuff the enemy. You give that mark right there, the purple mark, and if you hit the enemy with that mark, you actually deal more damage to it. So that's pretty nice. You can also apply the mark with the spin skill. The name it's Rapid Spiral. With Rapid Spiral, right here, I don't know where he is. I see. So he's practically trying to make a trap, and I think it's gonna work for a little bit. But I have my ultimate, so it's gonna be able to stall the enemy. I am trying to stall, so I have minions entering the tower range. That way I can just go ahead and walk away without that tower attacking me, because I'm not attacking him. So that was a pretty cool plan coming from him, like having me going inside of the tower range and he was ready to use all of his skills. So that's pretty nice. So props to that. To be honest, I kind of find difficult a little bit to play Aurora in a 1 versus 1 match, because I don't have, let's say, good damage. I don't think she has good damage. I think her skills do very poorly. The best skill damage that you have is gonna be the Rapid Spiral. It actually has 30% magical ratio, and you would have to build magical damage in order for that to work. Now the second skill you have is gonna be Eclipsed Trigger, which is very good to check bushes, because it has a really good range, and you can use it to actually get rid of the stacks that you have with your passive, and you're gonna be able to stun anything that has a mark on it. So that's pretty nice. The ultimate, it's an AoE that taunts the enemies and they're gonna be attacking you, and for the time being that your skill is active, they're only gonna be dealing 1 damage to you, 1 per hit, and that actually is very good, because every time that you're getting hit, like right here, the damage of the explosion gets increased, which in this case you were able to see that it was only 150, and the spin that I gave out, I think I hit him 3 times, and the third time it was actually halved, because whenever he uses the ship actually reduces the damage that he receives. Now the Eclipse Trigger actually deals some decent damage, even though it doesn't have scaling, but the cooldown that it has is actually 24 seconds. So if you want to build cooldown reduction on her, that's pretty cool, and that's a recommendation sometimes. The items that I get with Aurora, it's gonna be items that are gonna be helping me deal more damage. For example, flame armor, it's a thing that I like to build on her, because I like to have any additional damage that I can dish out or be able to have on the enemy. Another item that I like to get on her is gonna be Doom Mask. The thing is that every time that I hit with an ability, I actually deal overtime damage equal to 2% of their HP as magical damage, so that's pretty nice. And another thing that I like to build on this champion is gonna be Blade Armor. Blade Armor, every time you're being hit by a basic attack, you actually dish or let's say return 30% of the damage back to the enemy before it gets reduced by your defense. So that's gonna be pretty cool. And that only works for basic attacks. So that's very good for archers and assassins that have high damage or high critical. In this case, I decided to go ahead and start with Magical Shield. The reason is that since he has a lot of crowd control, I just wanted to get rid of that so that he would not be able to do things like this. Like right here, he was able to stun me, and he was able to deal some damage to me, but I'll use my ultimate to escape. The ultimate, it kind of gives you a little bit of time to think what you're gonna do. That way you're gonna be able to see what's gonna be your next move. As you can see, he's going for full defense, so that's gonna be good for us because he doesn't have any damage. Since we were able to get a kill, and he was basically planning on getting me ganked inside of the tower range, his tower was receiving a lot of damage, and that's why we were able to destroy the tower. But again, I think that with Aurora, you have to build items that are gonna help you increase your damage, and that could be flame armor, blade armor, doom mask. You can also build some attack damage on her. I don't see why not. I mean, that can be really helpful. When you use your ultimate, if the enemy starts attacking you, your minions actually start attacking him because he is attacking you, and the minions and his minions attack you, which increase the damage that your ultimate is going to deal overall. I think you can increase it, let me check. You can increase it up to 30%. And every time that you get hit by a basic attack, you actually increase it by 2%. So it's going to be a thing. Again, I think Aurora is very good for team fights. And in 1v1 fights, you actually have to work very hard to do very well. That's what I want to say. So if you plan on playing Aurora, don't expect to have that much of early game damage or burst damage. Just keep in mind that you have to build anything that is going to help you increase that damage over time, regardless if it's over time or if it's going to be able to if you want to go ahead and build ability power, that's fine, but keep in mind that you actually don't get that much of an increase. You only get 30% for one skill, and that's it. Your ultimate, it's 50% scaling, but you're not gonna be able to be rely on that very often because of the cooldown that he has, unless you build some cooldown reduction. So guys, thank you so much for watching the Aurora gameplay. This is pretty much how we play her. This is the tips that I have to give you on her. She's again, honestly, I think she's the most difficult champion to have or use to play in a 1v1. That is just my opinion again, and that's because I haven't played around with her too much. But I will because she seems to be a reliable champion in team fights, and I would like to learn more about her. On the passives, on the talents that I have, I actually decrease the cooldown. I have Enchanter talent. It's gonna reduce the cooldown of my skills by 5% because, well, her skill is 24-second cooldown, so anything will help me. So guys, thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you don't, leave me a comment on the comment section with the feedback. That way I can work on it, and please enjoy the rest of your day, guys.